Welcome to Ivy Knows Best, or whatever the name of our podcast is. It's your host, Eric Ivy, as always, with my two wonderful guests. Obviously, the illustrious Diamond Ivy. Dime, what's up?
What's up?
And as always, the beautiful Jessica Camarillo, Jess F. Cam. What's going on?
Hey y'all.
Hey, man, as you can see, Jess has grown her hair in 7 days. All right. That lets you know that not only does black not crack, it grows.
Okay.
Okay.
That's that black girl magic.
That's what I'm
Yes.
telling. And on top of that, black men don't cheat. Shout out to Carlos Miller. Now we got that out the way. Now, if y'all wondering, let me get myself situated as I speak to y'all. Though, if you wonder why my co-hosts are looking at me this way this morning, it's because in pre-show, I was talking a whole lot of mess about how black men don't cheat, right? Which is going to give us opportunity to really get into what we're going to talk about today. Is dating really hard? How hard is the dating scene? That's one thing. And then on top of that, what are some of the things that we were taught as kids by our parents that don't necessarily work anymore? And what are some of those things I actually did? Right. Luckily, I got two people who I actually grew up with who can actually tell us some of the same things about some of the different things we all been taught. But as long as we're able to share that with y'all, let's have some therapy, right? So let's get started. So, first and foremost, yes, give yourself a round of applause. Thank you for being here. All right, as always. And thank y'all very much also for showing us all the love you've been showing us on Instagram, on TikTok, everywhere. I mean, YouTube. It's all been showing up. And to make sure that we don't let this video go by without giving our sponsors some credit, let's shout out three of our sponsors. Okay, Blinks by Jess. All right. Shout out to them for helping us out. Obviously giving us all the lovely, lovely, lovely lashes for all the ladies in the area. Hit up Blink by Jess.
Yeah.
She's on IG as always. Our other sponsor happens to be Ivy Wellness, given to you by the illustrious Diamond Ivy, right?
Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Round of applause for you guys. You guys have been doing a great job, especially. And then mainly Mactivity. All right. If you do see the cool threads that young Jessica has on today, you see that comes from Mactivity. If you want to go find them, shout out to Trey and all those boys there on IG. Hey, Jess, where do you find Mactivity at?
That is Mactivity 1996 on Instagram.
That's right. You heard the lady. Mactivity 1996 on IG. Man, shout out to Trey and shout out to all them. They actually got something big going on. They're headed over to London to do an international fashion show. So congratulations to you guys. Good job.
Period. That's my man's. That's my man's.
All right. So now let's get right into it. So Dime this week kind of broke the code. All right. Dime was having a good time without us, living her life, being a regular person, right? How dare she? But she had a question for us, man. She was out hanging out with a man and having a good time with a very vibrant person. But then she said her friends had a couple questions that they weren't necessarily cool with asking her, but they wanted to ask us because they watched the show. So, Dom, what were some of those questions and what was some of that stuff they wanted to talk to us about since we're talking about dating today?
Okay, cool. I have a lot of friends that are single and a lot that are either married or engaged or in serious relationships. But some of my like me and my single friends, um, it's a lot that we need help, y'all. We need help. Help us. But so yeah, we're all adults here. So some of my friends date older, some of them date younger. But one topic we were talking about this week was, I guess, like dating men like over 40, and how it's different. We're all either, in our late 20s, early 30s, whatever. So, sometimes we like to date a little bit older. So if you're dating a man over 40, so the topic this week was, is it weird or is it odd if you're dating a man over 40 who has never been married and never have or doesn't have any kids? Like, is that a red flag? And I know how I thought in the beginning. Um, but I think since these conversations, my opinion has changed, so to speak, on how I feel about that. Because at first I was like, red flag. What's wrong with him? Like, okay, he's over 40. Nobody wanted to commit to him thus far. Nobody wanted to be attached to him. Is he crazy? Like, What is going on?
Yeah.
Like, is he a nutcase? Like, okay, nobody wants to marry you or have your kids. Like,
Mm.
something wrong with them. So, but again, that was from my like experiences, my past experiences. But now, as we really were talking about it like all week, and some of my other friends, grew up differently, and their perspective was different. They was like, well, that's kind of like that's okay, like that's what he was supposed to do. Like he didn't want to settle. He told me, he hasn't met anyone. This is what my friend is telling me. Like he hasn't met anybody that suits him, and so he's not going to settle, and he also doesn't want to just be out here making kids, and he was just responsible. And I was like,
Okay, right.
whatever,
Like,
all these years he was responsible.
well, I'm gonna tell you this. Look,
Maybe.
I know, and that's how I feel now. Like it's possible, just because I don't know any personally.
first and foremost,
Yeah.
as I sip from my Target King chalice
Here
that I
we go.
found a couple of days ago, and have filled it with the ripest of waters. Allow me to tell you this as I sip this from my libation. One second.
Okay. One moment, you guys, while he
Ve-
takes a sip of his water.
Very good. That king needs to be applauded for being safe for as long as he has.
This is
Step number
Or
one.
was he? Because you don't know if he had these girls out here getting abortions or not.
Well, listen, over here on this show, since we are a three-part conglomerate, you can side with who you want to side with. I'm gonna ride with the brother regardless. Okay.
we don't even know him.
I don't even
Okay.
look. I'm
We
just
don't
helping your
know
friend.
this man. Who is this man? We don't know.
I'm helping your friends. He may be a serial killer. He might not.
You
Maybe
right.
maybe if your homegirl, let's say hypothetically speaking, your homegirl's going on a date with this guy, and he happens to be really nice, really knowledgeable, all this other good stuff. He just hasn't found somebody he wanted to commit to in 40 plus years. Can it be a red flag? Sure, because ain't no way you ran into somebody. Look, I want to commit to people that I see within 10 minutes. Man, ain't no way you ain't found somebody to do that with sometime in your life. Now, I'm just hypothetically speaking. I'm joking about wanting to commit in 10 minutes. But the world we live in, people are
Yeah, it's like a
committing a
fast
lot quicker.
pace.
Right? People are committing a lot quicker. I like you on this app. I like you on that app. I like you on IG. I like you on Facebook. I like you on Twitter, whatever it is. And now we talk and then we hang out. And the next thing you know, boom, we're getting married, right? That's happening in the world we live in. He doesn't
Yeah,
come from that world. So those expectations are different. His age
different.
group is different, So I think a
Yeah.
little bit of that has a lot to be said. Now, granted, maybe he's not a whore. Maybe he wants to save himself for the right woman. What's wrong with that king being like that? Let him save himself for the right woman. And if it
I'm
ain't
gonna
your
say
friend,
nothing wrong with it, but it is rare. Like it's just
It's
rare.
very rare. That is like a 1 in a million. If that is like the complete truth,
If
that is
that's supposed to
1 in a million. Like
be.
1 in a million. That's the
Like
cap.
you,
see,
the unicorn, or are
but,
you?
why, but why ask for, think about this. Why ask for a fairy tale and then get upset when you find the mythical creature?
Right. That's so true because
That's what
I had to
it's
check
for.
myself, um, and like I guess how I was projecting my experiences and my negativity onto other people because like when she told me, I'm like, girl, red flag, don't do it. Like, something is wrong with him. Like, what is going on?
Mhm.
And then I had to like really check myself, like, that's not cool. Like, I'm giving her that advice based off of like my
Past
experiences or
experiences.
yeah, like, and that's just not that's not cool. Like he could really be the unicorn. And I mean, that is what we all want, like essentially, ideally, as women and like we're dating to get married, you do want somebody who most of us want somebody who hasn't ever been married and who doesn't have
For sure,
kids.
because I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off. I don't want to
No,
cut you off.
that's fine because we don't want that. Like
No,
we'll
like we all don't want nobody that like somebody else has had. Like, and it's hard to find that, especially when you're dating within like the same city or even like a couple cities over. A lot of people
Mhm.
don't have a certain person, and you don't want that.
Yeah.
But here's my question, right? With the advanced society that we live in, where
Mm.
where the sexual prowess of an individual is always on front street and the availability is always there,
Mhm.
can we really now look for people who haven't belonged to somebody? Because
Right.
at a certain point,
And
everybody belongs to
that's where I
somebody.
was right. And that was my perspective. I'm like, okay, girl, like we about to be in our 30s. Like people who we dating, they didn't had some experiences. You know what I'm saying? They didn't mess around with some folks. So it's unrealistic for you to be like, I don't want to date any man with kids. Well, girl, I don't know, date a tiger. I don't know, because these niggas out here got kids.
Right, right.
And
And
we've
then
been
top
with people before. We're not 20, like we dating in 30s and 40s. So they got kids and they have past relationships and all that type of shit, just like we do.
and to top it off, you can't expect somebody in their 40s not to have been with somebody. Now that's the part where I would kind of be a little like, hold on. You ain't got
Right.
no kids, no ex-wife, no nothing. Maybe he was a player. Maybe he was just,
Yeah.
but maybe he also chop up women and put them in a cellar. Who knows? So tell your homegirl if she's not comfortable with the perfection that is the man that she has chosen to go on a date with, maybe she needs to go out with someone who is not as perfect and see how she sees that suitor.
Women, we damn. So we just
See, you
never
see what I'm saying? See, so we can't give
we
them.
unicorn and we not happy with that. But then
Yeah,
we
like
still
I
Yeah.
can't throw you a unicorn, and I can't throw you a trash bag either, baby. You better tell her to pick which one she wants, or if she wants to find in the middle somebody who may or may not have had experiences, been married, has women in his life, whatever the case may be. Maybe she could
Mhm.
find that person, adjustable and favorable to her. But the problem with that is, do you really want somebody that everybody wants? Because that comes with a struggle. That's different. That's a different type of struggle you want, or
It
not
is.
you, but she wants at that point. You don't want somebody to now don't get, I'm not saying don't have someone that's attractive or whatever the case may be. If we go back to our last episode we did together, when I was telling you guys, look, it's not always their fault. These men are victims because something we're not used to getting that kind of love. Right? I know you don't like it, but it is what it is. It's
It's the
true.
victim for me. It's the victim.
It's the victim.
Victim.
Okay, because if that was a female, you would still want us to act a certain way. Like, what the fuck you mean?
Because
Niggas
you
being
Exactly.
after all the time. We
because you
still
because you control what
disregard
happens.
him.
You control what happens.
It's the
What'd you
victim.
say?
You
My
control what
side was
happens.
kind of,
Oh, you was tripping. Yeah, your phone tripping. Listen,
yeah.
y'all control what happens. We don't.
Why don't y'all?
Because all we can do is we're at your beck and call. The one thing as men that we're out here trying to do, right, is something that you control access to. We're trying to find someone to lay down with for the clean version of this because our mother watched the show last time, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But the reality of the situation is, we know for a fact that men are looking to lay down with women, right?
Mhm.
So even though we know that to be the case, we know for a fact the person that controls what happens with your body is you. I said this the last show. We're not even gonna say it again. So
Mhm.
this is why ultimately we don't have a choice because we're gonna keep playing that game until we get what we want. And we
We can
stupid.
agree to disagree because I don't agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
The,
folks. If you have an opportunity to look in the comments, leave a comment. Let us know who you agree with on this one. Me or Jess.
the man as
See
a
how that
victim.
goes.
He's a victim.
Okay.
So you're saying he's a victim because he's desirable now? Like I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
he
Yes.
has options now. You should be able to deny those options.
Yeah, just because
Right.
it's there doesn't mean you got to take it.
Right. But
Okay.
you remember now? On here we like to go to the Bible. You remember in the Bible, men had like 7 wives, and God still had to ask them not to cheat.
I shouldn't have to ask you shit
Right.
because you shouldn't have to ask me not to cheat.
But
What
think
the
Right.
about
fuck?
it. Think about it. Think about it. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, once an episode, my boy Israel Ivy. Yeah, good job, son. All right, get out of here. Shooting the show. Close the door. Bye. This is how real it is over here, folks. But no, he would be the reason why I'm saying he's the victim at this point is because at that point, the pressures of life are coming up differently. If God Himself had to ask men not to cheat and they had 7 wives, how do you think you gonna ask somebody not to do something and there's only one of y'all and you not God? God was allowing dudes to have 7 wives back then. He still had to say, "Thou shalt not commit adultery. Don't do it." You got 7 options. You legit can get tired of one woman, go to the next one, and God was cool with it.
So, so then is like monogamy, is that just unrealistic then? Is that what you're saying?
I think monogamy is realistic to the person, right? So if you choose to be monogamous, that's fine. But I think within the choice of monogamy, the person has to be solely dependent and you have to be everything to that person.
Again, it's a choice.
It is,
Okay.
but
All choices.
it
Whether
is
you
a
got
choice to be
seven
monogamy.
wives or one, you still have to make the choice whether or not you're going to cheat or not. So it doesn't matter, because if that was the case, then it would be okay to just cheat.
To
Like,
some people, it is. Most people have open relationships because they know for a fact
Okay,
they
and
can't ask their partner not to
that's
do
their
it.
terms of that relationship. The
But,
fuck,
but
you
that's
come to me and we draw the line where that shit starts
right.
and ends. Like, what do you mean?
okay. So, and that's fine. Within your relationship, you have a right to draw the line and say, we're not doing this. When you're dating, since we're talking about dating, when you're talking to someone and y'all get to that conversation and you start having that conversation of, okay, this is what we are and aren't going to do, right?
Mhm.
If that person says, hey, listen, I understand that, but I'm a man. I understand that you're not always going to be available, right? No, understand this now. Now this is why as men, this is why this conversation is hard to have, because a female will tell you, hey, you don't need to have sex with everyone else, right? Or hook up with anybody else. I'm here. It's me that you need to deal with, which is fine. If that person agrees to that and that's something that y'all are cool with, the idea of monogamy exists. That's fine. Do your thing. But there are people out here who understand that the mentality of any person, one given person, isn't the same. So when I look at a female, I might still desire her, even though my woman don't
Which,
want me to desire that woman.
Desire and take action is is different.
yeah,
Just
no,
because you're
That's fine.
like dating someone seriously, you're in a relationship or married, whatever the case may be, that don't mean that you just automatically don't think nobody else is attractive. Like, you can still look
right.
at
Right, but
people and be
some
like,
females
man,
think
like,
that
this
though.
person do look
Some
good, like, damn.
some
But that
women
don't
think
mean
that.
you gotta go and cheat.
Some women and men think that. They don't want their girls liking people's posts. They don't want they old
No,
lady.
and that I feel like that's insecure. Like I used to be like that in my like last shit or whatever, and that shit was like, why are you even tripping over a fucking like? Like at the end of the day, we're all human, and that's
Exactly.
what we all have to remember. You're still gonna find somebody maybe appealing to the eye, but as long as you're not acting and making physical actions, no,
No,
like
you're a fucking person. I don't know what you are. Like,
I do think, however, that we've actually underscored something here. Not really underscored, but undervalued something here. Okay. We've undervalued the idea that as long as the attention is flowing one way and only one person is acting up, then
bingo.
the other party should be okay. Right. I'm one of these people. If you go out and you like somebody's, photo or something like that, and you with me, I don't care. But if it's a constant flow and I constantly catch this person on on your page, hard eyeing and liking and doing this and doing it,
I mean, that's flirting at that point.
Yeah, that's flirty. Hard eyes for
Virtual
me. What are
flirting.
you doing? Because hard eyes for what? What are you looking at that you want that bad? Like
Right.
that's disrespectful.
That's taking
Liking and shit, whatever. Like
yeah.
right?
whatever.
But that's why I'm not one of those people. It's just Instagram. No, it's not, because we just said our last show how you can legit look at somebody who's liked your picture 77 times. Every time you post a post, he even posted something and liked it, and then he's in your DM. So, ladies, let us not act like this is outside the realm of possibility.
Yeah, for sure. Especially this day and age with social media and shit. Like,
Right.
it
Oh,
ain't
sorry.
a game.
Now, go ahead. As you were
That
saying.
just goes back to you declining the option. Like you don't have to accept the offer. That's still
Exactly.
up to you at the end of the day. Like all of that, everything, Instagram outside real life is up to you. Like you make that decision.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Now here's the thing though. When we start talking about dating, right? Is Instagram now this is for you, Dom. This is something that you can answer because you're the only person right now who's on the available market. I belong to God. Jessica belongs to Trey. Okay. And vice versa.
Belongs. No.
Okay. I wouldn't say belong. I'm joking. You're the only person right now who's actively in the dating market, right? So with you
Mhm.
being actively in the dating market, obviously I'm not, because me and B are still a thing.
Still a thing.
What is acceptable to y'all? Like, what is the dating? What do you find to be acceptable when we start talking about social media etiquette? Because everyone has a different way of operating within that space.
Um, I'm not a good, like, I don't think I'm a good expert on dating via social media because I never really have. Like, I think I maybe I started talking to one person ever from Instagram, like literally just one person. Like I don't know, I'm probably still a little old school. I like to meet people organically. Um, so I don't really know. Like I don't know, and I've never been in a relationship. I guess that Instagram was like a real big factor,
Yeah.
so to speak.
So you
I
never
don't
dated
know.
somebody that's popping in. That's what you're telling me,
Yeah, no, not on no Instagram. They be popping in real life, but I
right?
don't like my dude all on Instagram.
Right, right. Which, by the way,
So if
ladies and
you're a big
gentlemen,
Instagrammer and you be in your phone 3,000 times a day, and that's just
who
She
wants
don't
to
want you.
who wants to date somebody that you got to take the same picture 3 times for it to be perfect?
yeah, like
You got your fun out on the day. You over here. Let me take a picture of my food, but not the person that bought it.
yeah, no.
I swear to God, I'll throw this pen. Get on out of here. Get out. Walk out. Leave. And I'm, you know what? And I'll make sure I tell all the homies who come up to see your stuff on Bumble to swipe left or whatever the case is. Wherever they find you at, the answer is swipe
I
left.
swear I can't relate. Like I really can't relate to social media dating. Like I can't relate. Like okay, I call myself getting on like some like dating sites or whatever, like some dating apps and stuff.
Mhm.
And no, just just
Not for you.
no. I've tried and it's oversaturated with bullshit. Like, mm-mm.
It,
No. Meet me in
it,
the grocery store. Find me outside somewhere at the gas station or at the gym or something. Like,
See, but wait a minute now. Here's my thing about the gym thing, and this is why dating I think is hard. I go to the gym all the time, but women often will say like things online like, "Don't approach me while I'm at the gym. I'm trying to focus on my gains and this and that." So there are people who look at all those things and take it serious.
uh, they
So I say this all the
I
time. First,
mean, but if you feel a vibe at the gym, then do it. Because no, that's for women. I mean, that's for men that are just approaching any and everybody. Like, nigga, if you don't see me
exactly.
looking at you, don't come towards me. Like, we're not making eye contact. We're
Yeah,
not interested in no type of like, you know, the vibes when it's there, nigga.
exactly.
Like, don't just
Exactly.
come doing it because you want to. Like, no.
Mhm. Don't try to talk to me for like a long time if I'm in the gym. Like, just
Right.
make it real quick because I am in here for a reason. So like,
Well,
make it
not
quick.
me, but yeah.
Make it quick. Just make it quick. Don't try to take up
hey
my whole. Don't try to have a date at the
girl,
gym. Like,
hey
I don't
girl,
like
I see you smelling like earring backings up in here and hot sausage. I just want to see what's up right quick. Let me get your name and your number. She gonna be like, bro, no, like leave me alone. Leave you alone.
it.
Leave you what? You ain't got
Bro, for real, I was no in the gym. They don't give a fuck. Like I was doing squats, and there was a guy behind me in the mirror, and like every time I would look up, this nigga would be like nigga, no, I'm not coming. Like leave me
No.
alone.
see that, and that's what see, guys. That's another thing. Guys, we don't. All right, not we. There's some dudes out there who don't got game.
Mm.
Who don't know how to let things just happen. Right? I'm gonna send you a bottle of wine to your table if we at an establishment. When you see me, I'm gonna nod at you as I sip whatever liquor I sip, and I'm gonna act like you don't exist. You can walk up to me and say hello to me later on, or I can walk over and introduce myself, whatever the case is. But I have to leave it smooth. That's how I would operate. However,
Right.
there's gentlemen out there who don't operate like that. That's not their giving bag is not that. It is a listen, baby. I got $70. Okay, that's 30 more than the going rate. All right, what you trying to do? It, and blame it on who we want to blame it on. But the reality is that's what's going on, right? So when you go
Mm.
from that and you go, hey, I want to organically meet somebody. Let's say they run into Dime, and Dime, you at the grocery store somewhere. You putting stuff in there from the vegetable aisle. You got your lean meats over here. You got your vegetables over here. Very good low carb options. Things like that. You got your water at the bottom of the basket, and he walks up to you. He go, hey, look,
This is
I
a
got
very detailed description.
It is like I've seen it. I've seen it all in my brain.
Well, I'm glad this is what YouTube is for, right? So they go, hey, look, baby, I got $270, 230 more than the going rate. I'm gonna buy whatever you got in that basket right now, right? One, if you offer to buy anything in my basket, the answer is no. That's as a man. If a female walks up to me, hey, you look so nice today, yeah, with my mask on, sure thing. Wait till this mask come off, all right? Oh, you look buff, yeah, until the shirt come off. Okay, the attraction's over then. All right, you thought I was buff, didn't you?
Didn't
I'm
you?
I'm I'm chuscular. All right, that's chunky muscular. I'm coining that term, chuscular. All right, shout out to all the dad bods out there. But imagine a
Okay.
person coming to you that way, and that's all they have to offer you as a woman. They're giving you compliments, and they think that's supposed to suffice. And as men, they think they can come at you with money, and that's supposed to suffice. How do
Mhm.
you now juggle that? How do you get into that part? Like, how do you get
I,
out of it?
I don't know. I mean, I guess for each woman is different. Like, but if that's not the standard that you're trying to, you know, live by, like if that ain't your thing, then girl, you got to be honest and upfront with him. Be like, oh no, I don't need you for that, but you want to take me to dinner maybe one day? Like, I don't need you for that, but you can like we can hang out. Like, and I'm gonna let him know like very early on that's not gonna do it for me. So
I'm gonna
that's
pull
just
up
not
on
gonna
B
do
one day
it.
like that. I'm like, hey girl, look, I know we got these kids up in here, but I got XYZ amount of money in my pocket right now.
Mm-hmm.
How much is it gonna cost me to take these kids to dinner and love them like they my own? No, good well, all these kids belong to me anyway, right? Like married dudes, that don't work for us. Okay, if you married, man, just keep romancing
I
your
think,
old lady.
yeah, because I mean, I don't know. Some dudes feel like they do have to lead with that. You know what I'm saying? But I think unless you're a woman and then that is what you want, like you just looking for a dude with money, then I guess
I
whatever.
know, cause like, what is you telling me your amount of money you're making gonna do for me? Like,
That's not
okay,
gonna do nothing for me. And I think if that's not your thing as a woman, like you got to just say that, like, okay, that's nice, but I don't care about that. That's
And
the type of
can
person
we
I
start?
am.
Can we
And
start
people
normalizing? What'd you say?
like you gotta like ask the questions that matter. Like
Mm,
people respect you. Like,
right,
do
right.
you
Like,
got friends and family? Like, are you that
okay.
nigga? And not that nigga meaning with money, like, but are you like that nigga? Like, do you have
if we,
morals,
if
have
I go
values?
outside and we get in a fight, are you gonna get knocked out? Are
Or are
you
you gonna
gonna
get
protect me?
knocked out?
All right, yeah. I can
That
respect
type of thing. That's the type of thing I need to know.
like because I'm gonna get us in a fight, but you need to get us out.
Okay.
But you
Most women will swear up and down. I ain't that kind of woman. Look, we gonna get in. Look, if you pull up, look straight up. If you walked up and was like, "Bro, look, I got a smart mouth, and I'm gonna get into an argument with one or two dudes. Can you walk over here and either A, diffuse the situation, or
right,
B, turn this dude's lights out?" Most men
right.
who are adults who are around my age in our 30s, we probably like, "Look, man, I've been knocking people out since I was X, Y, Z. We
Be
done doing that.
diffused. Right.
Let's just go ahead and not do that. I apologize. She was tripping, bro. You good? All right, man. My fault. Come on." Now, if he continues to be disrespectful at that point, then it's whatever. But
Right.
generally, we don't have people normalizing that bit of truth. Let's normalize the bit of truth. Can we get online on Instagram and start telling the truth? Can we start doing that? Can we start
Mm.
telling the truth on all of our profiles that we exist? Let's stop saying that we're a forex manager. And let's stop saying stuff like that. Let's stop saying I learned how to play the stock market. You're not a stockbroker. You do forex. Not knock people who do forex, but keep it real. Tell people what you truly do.
Yeah. Just
Can we
keep it
be
real.
honest? So
But the world of the internet, nothing is real on there. Like I don't be believing nothing on there. Literally, like nothing at all.
you know why? Because it's different from whenever we were kids. And
Yeah.
that's a perfect segue into what we're about to talk about right now. Um, as children, we were taught certain things, right?
Mhm.
What things
To beat
have
my
you
dog's
found?
ass.
You said what?
I'm about to beat his ass.
Oh, you will not do that, as that will go against everything that we believe in here at this show. Okay,
We do not eat animals here on this show.
we
I
don't.
love him to death, but I'm still going with his
No,
ass.
we're okay. So anywho, all right. Look, listen. No, you're not.
Hold
All
on.
right.
Let me mute my mic.
Yeah, you should probably just go and sit down for a minute right there. I do apologize, those in YouTube land. We did not mean for this to happen. However, our parents taught us certain things, and the things we were taught as children sometimes didn't necessarily continue on to our time frame. And I think it comes down to the fact that our generations have outgrown a lot of the older set of values, and not because the set of values that they have are outdated as much as it is that their set of values just stop working because the type of people and the type of world we live in is so different. So what are some of the things that you were taught? We'll start with Jessica. What are some things that you were taught that didn't work, and what are some things that you were taught by mom that did work, or mom and dad that did work?
Um, Man, I really, I don't know. Their relationship is really different. Like mom and dad, like are two different type of vibes and like the type of stuff that I've been on. So I can't even take like real advice from them, except like the arguments and stuff like that. Like more communication and like understanding. That's the only thing I can say I took from them. But everything else I can't even really speak on.
Okay, Dom, how about you?
Um, I think that's so hard.
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna just say, okay, so my parents are divorced. They've been divorced for a long time. Probably they got divorced when I was in like first grade or something like that. But they went through a whole lot, like before I was born and even after I was born, like they, went through a lot. Um, I don't know. I think my dad kind of taught me the game as far as niggas, like, and not directly. He taught me indirectly. He taught me through his actions. So, I kind of led with that in life, I guess. Like, niggas be playing, and I know they be playing because I seen it. You know what I'm saying? So, as an adult growing up, I kind of held on to that. Like, niggas be bullshitting. Like, they be playing. And then I guess as far as from like my mom's perspective, from like a woman's perspective, um, I don't know. I think from my mom, from her perspective, from a woman's perspective, um, she kind of taught me not to take no shit, um, not to settle, but I also, I don't know, sometimes I kind of, I guess I have to also remember that, everything isn't going to be perfect. And I think because of that, like no nonsense kind of attitude from my mom as far as like relationships and, things like that. Like I'm very much willing to like in my past, I'm going to quit easily. Like I'm gonna give up. Like if some shit ain't working out, if it ain't feeling right, like by nature, I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm out. But I
Right,
know
right.
that you can't be like that. So I'm literally like in real time, like currently trying to like reprogram myself to be like, you may go through some things. Like don't always just be so quick to bounce. You know what I'm saying? Just because
Mhm.
somebody isn't perfect or they didn't do exactly what you wanted them to do, because by nature is to run, get up out of there.
And
Like
that's what I meant by like not being on the same type of vibe as my mom, because she taught me that like don't take no shit, like know your worth or whatever, which is true, know your worth, but
right.
you also have to give chances, like
Mm-hmm.
not dumb ones,
Not
but
dumb. Yeah, don't be a doormat. Like don't let somebody
yeah.
continuously disrespect you or devalue you or anything like that. But just know, like, you have to like know your person and know where they're at also. Like,
Right.
For sure.
So check this out. I'm glad y'all said that because I was never taught. All right, my parents taught me a ton of things in life that I can apply. I mean, I guess because I'm older now, I have children. I've experienced, a long-term relationship, beginning to end, all that cool stuff. I understand everything that my parents was saying when I was real younger. And the older I got, it kind of started to make sense. I think the things that stopped working, I'll start with those because it's very few things that my parents taught me that don't work anymore. I think that the disciplining your children in public, that's run its course, right? Like when I was a kid, my mom told my ass up in the mall one time.
mhm.
I will get. Look, I promise you, I will bring on my older sister and my older brother to explain to you how my mama beat my ass in the mall when I was young because I deserved it. I was tripping. And back then, my mom, mind you, took the belt off the out the store, wore my ass out, and then took it back. Nowadays, you take something out the store, you going to jail immediately. It's not
Right.
even no mistake. You know there's a sensor on the door. My mom didn't
Right.
care about no sensor. She told my ass up. But the people in the mall let it happen, right? My mother was no nonsense, right? Now, my mother also taught me, and my father also taught me how you're supposed to treat a woman. But my mother and father never taught me how a woman was supposed to treat me,
Mhm.
right? They were in detail on how I was supposed to treat the woman, but never taught me how I was supposed to be treated by the woman. My mother and father always told me, all right, cool, respect women, don't beat women, don't do this, don't cheat, don't do this, don't do that. Because all of their experiences were this or that. But then what ends up happening is women evolved. Women weren't staying at home. Women weren't keeping themselves till marriage. Women weren't doing all those things. They were probably not doing those things back then either, but it became so prevalent now or during our time, and me being in my 20s and me being in my late teens, that when it came time for me to know how to deal with it, I didn't learn how to deal with it. So I just went with however I was supposed to go with it emotionally. And I think because the emotional base has switched and how females operate, I was never told how I was supposed to be treated. So when I learned how I was supposed to be treated, I learned it later on because life had to teach me that. Life had to teach me, hey, listen, just because she thinks that she can talk to you this way or she thinks she can act this way, you don't have to accept that. Just because she is in a place of esteem and you do respect her and you do love her, she doesn't have the rights to make up lies or do this or do that. Like these are all things that aren't told to you. You're always told, yo, women are going to trip. I was never told find out why she's tripping so she ain't got to trip. I was told, hey, look, all right, let her blow off some steam, get away from, put some space between y'all, she'll get over it. But that's not everybody, you know. So that was one thing that I was told that I was never taught that I feel didn't work. And it's like, okay, whatever. And it's not to knock on our parents because we have very amazing parents, very strong parents,
Yeah,
parents
for
who are
sure.
amazing. But I think everything else my parents taught me worked. All of it.
Yeah.
Discipline your children, love your children, raise your children, be there for your children, keep a job, pay your bills on time,
Right.
cut your grass, clean your house, clean your body. Smell this, man. Look, I did a show with the sensei and the OG, by the way. All right, Sensei Mike and OG Eric Ivy, right? We did a show and we were talking about smelling good and all those different things. And I realized there's so much stuff that I don't know from that side of my family that whenever I learned it, like it was so much stuff that I was learning then, right? I was taking in then. So there's things about myself that I didn't know that I'm able to kind of put together, but that's
Right.
because I learned it then at 32. Imagine me trying to learn that at 15, trying to learn that at 16, while still trying to find out how I'm supposed to treat a woman. How is this? How is that? I've been learning way too much stuff to put it
Right.
all together at one time. There's things in life that you have to learn later down the line. I'm 32. I'm learning to the end of time. I'm never gonna stop learning, which is
Period.
why I plan on dying at 100. And if God blesses me to live 100 years for me to pay for all the bad things I've ever done, right? Because you got to pay for all the evil you've ever done in life. This is what it is. I pray that He has mercy on me and allows me to, enjoy my life. But I
Right.
think that I'm going to learn even to the end, right? So my parents really instilled a bunch of stuff that I can't forget. And I think that I tell people all the time, it would behoove you to never forget the things you're taught, right? So when you
Right.
do experience things, if you're experiencing it incorrectly or you're responding to it incorrectly, you fall back on what you've been taught, right? Especially if you found that to be the correct way to handle things. Life does come at us 1,000 miles per hour, but the thing about it is, if you are taught to handle the high speed, you will survive.
Facts.
I
Facts.
got I got 3 daughters. I tell all my daughters the same thing my mother used to tell us. But as a father, my father, whenever when he spoke to Jessica and he spoke to my older sister Kanita and he spoke to my younger sister, he speaks to my younger sister Cherish. He talks to them in a way that's completely relatable. Like there's no way for you to find fault in the conversation because he's telling you in a way that's compassionate and he cares about you, right? My mother loves you and you know she loves. My mama loves hard. My mama will tell you straight up, hey, listen, no, you stupid. Stop being stupid. Sit down. something's wrong with you. My mom will tell you to your face what's wrong with you, but she's
Mhm.
telling you that because she cares about you and she don't take no mess, and she wants you to be a strong person. I remember going through a situation in my life and feeling like my mother did not give me the response that I wanted. My mother gave me the response that I needed though.
Mhm.
My mother said, "Hey, you're gonna be okay. You'll figure it out." I was
Yep.
sleeping in the car with my kids and my wife. My mother told me to my face, "You'll be okay. You'll figure it out."
Yep.
And I was so upset with my parents. I spent years being upset with my parents until I turned 27. I started understanding it. I stopped being upset a week, 2 weeks after the fact. I never forgot it, but I just kind of, held on to it for a while. And with my
Mhm.
parents listen, I do want to say thank you for teaching me that. Because if you never taught me that I was going to be okay, that everything that I've ever experienced, I've come through it and I've lived through it and I've never failed even after the fact, I would never have continued on. I probably would have killed myself or done something stupid like that. Well, let me not say stupid. Something that I couldn't undo,
Right.
right? Something that would have befallen me during a weak point. But they taught me how to be strong no matter what goes on.
Mhm.
I mean, I fell out of attic when I was 3, and my grandmother said, "You'll be all right. Get up." Granted, she put
Dead
me there.
ass. No, they be getting on my nerves with that shit. What you mean? I just fell. Help me.
my
Are
forehead,
you dead? Did you die? No.
my
You'll be
my
fine.
forehead's hanging off the side of my ear. Can you help me? Yeah, boys, you're gonna put some eyes on it.
Yeah,
You're
you'll
gonna
be
sit
all right.
down.
You'll be
But
all
yeah,
right.
you learn. So I do want to say thank my parents very much. I mean, obviously, all of us would like to say thank our parents because
Mhm.
without them and their sacrifice, we wouldn't know anything.
Yes, thank y'all. And I think you brought up a good point, sometimes because it's funny, I feel like now at this age, I'm learning um I'm learning a lot more from my parents now than I feel like I did like as a kid. Like as a kid, obviously I'm learning through like looking and watching and observing them and how they operate and how they, you carry themselves. So I learned a lot indirectly, I feel like, as a child, but as an adult now me and my parents, and we've always been close. I've been close to both my parents. But we never would have like super like in-depth conversations about just a whole lot of things. Like it wasn't ever like a sit down, okay, we're gonna sit down and talk to you about sex. It was never like that. It was just real casual. Like me and my parents, we tight, but we like homeboys and homegirls, kind of, you know what I'm saying? So I learned a lot, like just through kind of their life experiences, but just observing, not necessarily them like sitting me down and be like, okay, this is how you're supposed to do this. This is how you're supposed to do this. But now as an adult, like they now it's more direct, like, okay, no, I'm calling my dad. Okay, do you think that this is strange? Like this guy said this, like, what do that mean? And now he's like giving me direct game. So, oh, okay, thank you, or my mom, I'm like, hey, emotionally, I feel like I'm a little fucked up and I'm trying to figure out why. And she's like, well, girl, I don't know nothing about that. I'm like, well, I think it got to do with you. You know what I'm saying? So now, like, we really getting into those conversations.
And the mom's answers, that ain't got nothing. That you
Be
got that
like,
from your
that
daddy.
you're
Okay.
crazy. I don't know what you got to do with me. I'm all right over here. Like,
Right. I realized my mother, anything that she didn't recognize, she automatically called it out and said, "No, you got that from your daddy. You ain't get that from me.
you did get that from me.
That ain't from me." And
That's
my
well,
mother's really spot on with that right there. Like, hey, mom, I'm going through some stuff. I think you might have. I didn't do that.
no, wouldn't dare do that. No, it wasn't me. Wasn't
Jessica
me.
left because Jessica knows exactly what I'm talking about. I remember being a kid, she's old enough to understand. Jessica's old enough to remember this. Probably, my mom be like, "Hey, look," my mom would do something to you, and like be like, Okay, and
So now what?
so
I give one fuck. Like you okay, and you'll be fine.
So
You
what you
gonna
yeah,
think
live.
about it?
That was her response to everything.
you'll be
Mhm.
okay. Now you know
Yeah,
what though? The truth be told, she's not lying,
she's
man.
right though. Yep. Yep.
I got a 14-year-old daughter right now, man. Swear to God, I just found out she's into boys now, right? Just found out. Okay, cool. We were at this little bouncy house yesterday, and
Mhm.
she disappeared for like a cold hour and a half. I was like, nigga, where you go? Where you been? Right? My fault. Let me scoop myself up here. I was like, where you been? So I was over there talking to these people over there. I said, what people? And she was like, oh. So I look around. It's two young men walking around the corner. I'm like, I should punch somebody in the throat. Like, it's happening. Like, somebody's son is going to the hospital. All,
Happening.
all because he want to talk to my daughter. Like, look at you now. Right? But granted, obviously, me being an intelligent person and using the mind the guy gave me, I said, okay, cool. Well, sweetheart, look, you stay within eyes reach. I watched them everywhere they went. I watched
Mm-hmm.
everything they did. And the reason why I watched them, because I was like, look, when the cat's away, the mice shall play.
Mm-hmm.
Right? My mother and my father would have been like, nah. Well, let me take that back. It's possible. All right, boy, go ahead. Just don't let your mama find out. That would have been one thing. Mom would have been like, nope, you ain't going over there. My mama done read the whole situation up and down.
Yeah,
She know
she
what you
already.
about to do before you
Yeah,
even did it, how you was gonna do it, and you'd be like,
I
who
think
told you?
I
Like the
think I
devil
had
told
the
you.
most like cool, like carefree parents who still didn't play. Like it was like
Hell no.
it
I
was a
wish.
weird balance. And to this day, I'll be like, I don't know if I would have that much trust in my kid. Like, I don't know how they did it, but they're very like laid back and cool, but they still did not play either. Like I couldn't fuck off, like I couldn't just be buck wild, but they did give me a lot of freedom. Like they gave me a lot of room to like really make my own decisions and live with them. You know what I'm saying? Like they gave me a very long rope and was like, look, what you do with this shit is on you. Just know that there are consequences to everything. And so I was a little fearful. So, I still move with caution, but I definitely was able to move about, you know what I'm saying, without being like, oh, like my parents gonna kill me. But even though like I know that they kind of would, because if I was too much, that yeah, it's going down. Like
Now here's
it's
the
going down.
question: was it the fear of they will kill you, or did they try to kill you? Because I have
Try
quite. There's
to
a
kill
difference.
me.
There's a difference. You know what I'm saying? And
My
like
it's so funny. I have two instances where each parent tried to kill me in life.
hmm. Now listen, we had
But
one of your parents on, so please be.
he
Now,
tried to kill me when I was 17. I'm telling.
oh, okay. What you let the people know? What did you do?
Okay, so at 17, long story short, it was New Year's Eve. I stayed out all night, and he said he didn't know where I was at, but he knew where I was at. Anyways, that's up for debate. But yeah, he says he didn't know where I was at. That morning, the next morning, I was asleep at my friend's house. We had kicked it all night. We had hung out, whatever, did what we did stuff we weren't probably supposed to be doing. He called my phone, but my phone was not reachable. He called my best friend's phone. It's like 9 in the morning, New Year's Day. She wake me up like, yo, daddy said he on his way over here right now. We gotta go. I'm like, oh shoot. Pop up. I rush home, go home. He meets me at my house in like 10 minutes because he don't live with me at the time. He meet me in my house in like 10 minutes. Man, this nigga here, he literally took one like ginormous step. It was just like a big, like one big step to get from the kitchen to the living room where I was at. I swear it was like happened so fast. Man, that was one fucking step, man. He had me like this up in the air, y'all. Okay, my feet was off the ground. My feet was off the ground. Okay, he slammed me on the couch and everything. It was like, do you understand what was going on? I didn't know where you was at. I was like,
My God.
am I about to die?
Yeah. And the cold part is, look, folks, when y'all look, because I'm dropping that episode on Monday, right? Before this one comes out, that one
Uh-huh.
comes out first. When you see him,
You wouldn't,
he's
you
so
would
cool,
never think.
mild mannered. He really,
Yep.
you know,
That was the first time, and mind you, that didn't happen until I was 17. You know what I'm saying? So up until this point, I'm like, my dad, he cool, calm, collected. Like he don't trip. He just, well, my parents are just big on telling the truth. Like they didn't play that. That's one thing. Like no sneaky, no lying, no none of that. Like they both really was like, listen, we don't really care. Like what you do, tell the truth though. Like we can't have your back if you don't be real with us. So that was their main thing, and I'm real to this day because of it. Like,
Hey, now, Jessica, I would ask you for an example, but I've been there. I've seen it. I don't even know.
Real.
the
No.
people don't even want to hear about it. It's serious.
Like as soon as you tell the story, my phone gonna ring and she gonna parachute down to my house
Right,
and
right.
she
You
gonna
got
turn my
her on here
kids
telling
against
all my
me. So I look at you on the Instagram and on the YouTube talking about me. Ah shit. You know what? I should have rang your neck for real when you was doing this. Did you tell him that, Eric? Jessica's gonna skip. It ain't nothing Jessica's gonna say gonna be her fault. It's all gonna be my fault because I'm running the show, I guess. It's crazy.
Yep.
Yep, it's on you.
I'm like, Mom, all three of us are collectively doing this. This isn't
Nope,
my idea.
nope, nope.
But it's but I'll be honest with you though. I think as a father, I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
If my daughter right now, if I called her, like she accidentally hung up on me yesterday. In my head, I heard "fuck you, nigga." That's what I don't know. She was minding her. I was like, yo, she probably hanging around these niggas trying to impress them. I'm in the same place, and I know for a fact she just said, "Fuck this nigga." I'm just gonna go and do what the fuck I want to do. That's what I heard, even though she
That's
didn't say that.
at
She
all.
came back. She was like, "Dad, hey, Dad." I was like, "You hung up on me?" That's first. I said, "You hung up on me?" And she was like, "No. I swear I didn't hang up on you. I I legitimately was come down the slide. I accidentally hung up the phone." I said, "All right, cool. Why didn't you call me back? Because it's fuck me, right?" That's exactly what I was thinking in my head.
Right. She
But
didn't say fuck you.
but she didn't say. She's like, "No. She was like, "No, Dad, no. I accidentally hung up." I said, "Okay." In my head, I was like, "No, you didn't.
You said
That's
fuck
the last accident you should ever make in your life. It's hanging up on me." I felt disrespected. Now, granted, I have to go out now and buy them ice cream after I'm done with this show because I said a bunch of stuff to these kids today that was unnecessary because my mother would have done the same thing. My father, look, my pop tell you one time, but hey, look, don't do it because I know what's gonna happen
you. Yeah.
in the story. And Jessica, I swear to God, you know I'm not lying. He would tell us, hey, your mama find out you on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, and I say this all the time to my children. Like I'm that way because he taught me so much.
Mm-hmm.
I say this all the time, people. I don't do if you disrespect my mom, I'm not going for that anyway. But if you disrespect my father, if you're not ready to die, you chose the wrong situation.
Okay.
Do not play with me about my father, right? Not even this much.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much respect there. I feel like anytime something's going wrong in my life, I know for a fact I'll talk to him once, maybe twice, and the situation will happen exactly the way he says.
Why you said
Right?
it.
I respect everything. I mean, he has a book called God is Still on the Throne available now on
Mm-hmm.
all your audiobook places. If you guys are into Christian books, go find it. Right? Right? And he taught me so much in life and still teaches me so much in life. But the reason why I'm that way about him is because he's super duper mom man. He jokes around, has a good time. He's cool, but he's just really quiet. Like if he sat in a room, he could be in a room right now. You wouldn't even know he was here. He would just be like, "Oh, son, I'm watching TV, drinking Dr. Pepper, doing my thing." But there's a lot of respect there, and I think that without these people, we wouldn't be who we are today. So let's give them a round of applause, of course, because they deserve it. And thank you very much for all that you do.
Yes.
Now, a last bit of business before I let y'all go and enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday and do the things y'all do. Now, what do you got planned for today anyway? Speaking of enjoying your Sunday.
I don't really know. I'm gonna do something. I have to be out in the outside. It's sunny out. Whatever I do, it won't be in this house.
Yeah. Okay, and Jessica, what about you and Trey? What y'all got going on?
I'm about to have a self-care day, and then probably, well, I don't know. I might work out and then have a self-care day.
Okay. Speaking of self-care days, because obviously Sundays normally when I iron all my clothes for the week. That's right, I iron. Yeah, say something. I still iron.
I
I
haven't
iron.
picked up an iron for years.
You get that from who you get that from?
Right.
Pops. And Jessica
No,
know
for
he
sure. My daddy ironed everything.
Pops iron
Girl,
clothes
mine
all
too.
Sunday long. after church, iron clothes.
Yeah, yeah.
So I do that. I still iron my pants, my shirts, all that, set it up for the week. So that week,
All
all I
your
gotta do is,
shirts? You did iron all of your shirts.
yeah, change that. Cause all right, look, I ain't gonna
You
tell
iron
y'all
your
what my
shirts?
regimen is. I don't need no disrespect. Yes, I iron my shirts, except for these ones. These ones don't need to be ironed. Look how these fit amazingly.
I iron, but not like everything.
I don't iron at all.
See, you what generation is that? Z, X? What's this new generation?
I think I'm still a
Z
part
plus.
of
Are you still a millennial? When does that
Nah,
start now?
no.
Actually, I'm glad you asked. I have my phone right here for any of my Gen
Millennials
Zers.
getting old. I'm a millennial. We getting up there. It's happening.
I don't know. I don't want to give out the year I was born, but yeah.
I'll tell you exactly when she was. Y'all want to know? I was there.
Yeah, her business about that.
Okay.
She grown. Just know that.
Just know that. Just know
that.
Generation Z researchers and popular media use the mid to late 90s as starting birth years and the early 2010s as ending birth years. So Jessica would be categorized as Gen Z.
Yeah, they're different.
Yeah, they don't like the iron. They like to go press the button, the wrinkle release button, and think it's okay.
Period. And my clothes be fitting just fine.
Ain't nobody wearing no damn suits and shit and all of that.
Oh, for real? Okay, so don't worry. Look, when I tell the OG what you just said, he ain't gonna. Hey, he ain't gonna agree with that.
He don't iron his stuff. Now I'm gonna iron stuff that needs to be ironed. Like if I wear it, I'm gonna be wrinkled. Like, but I don't
I
just
have
like
an interview or something.
Right.
Or,
right. But I'm not like ironing like my jeans. Like I'm not.
No, they're tight enough.
See, but this is when we're at the point of the show where the bullshit is about to start. Because now they talking about not ironing tight shit. So I just want to let y'all know this is not my idea. Okay.
I was saying, why would you iron something tight? Like you can't see the wrinkles.
If it's tight, it's right. You know what I'm saying? That's what a wise man once told me. But I don't think he was talking about anything unnecessary. I think he just meant if it makes you feel a certain way, it's right. But other than that, ladies, look, I'm glad you guys have joined us again. Listen, next week we have a very special guest. And we're going to be talking to one of the best independent artists out right now. All right. And I'm save a little bit of that for y'all. But we definitely have him on tap for our May 2nd show. As always, you can find Jessica or Jess F Cam at Jess F Cam or Blink by Jess on IG. You can also find Diamond at Ivy Wellness on IG, as well as I Love Diamond. Is that correct? Did I say that right?
That's right.
On IG. And you can always find me as Mr. Eric Ivy. That's just my name. It is what it is. Other than that, keep on logging in. Keep subscribing. Keep showing us love because we need all of that. We need all of that. We need comments, subscribing, likes, all of it. Look, do all of it. Okay. Go listen to us on Spotify because, by the way, I'll be putting all this out on Spotify. It's going on Spotify, Apple. It's everywhere, man. Get familiar before we get way up there and we can't contact and get with everybody. I want to get with all y'all right now. I love y'all so much, and they do too. So as always, man, thank y'all for joining us. Thank y'all for kicking with us, man. Me and my sisters as always, man. Peace out.
Bye.